This is a poor man's survey monkey, okay? Because I'm going to talk a little bit about our website, and during that time, I'm going to ask a few questions. And it's not like a quiz that somebody wins. I really would value your feedback about what you use our website for, if you use it, what you find valuable, and what we could be doing better. So I'm going to put the mic down just for a second. Maybe you could say a few words about what you're going to do while I'm queuing up my...
Okay, well, it's kind of the two of us today, so Rod's going to kind of talk about some of the features of the website that I think that maybe Rod and I didn't even know about until we started looking into it. And then second, I'll follow up the second half of the presentation on some of the other things that maybe the rest of the group knows or doesn't know about that we have available to us. So, you ready?
That's exactly the right speech we need to do. Okay, so I want to start with the fact that we're all on information overload. Or if you don't feel that way, I get over 100 emails a day. We're pummeled by websites and tweets and feeds and Facebook, etc. One of the challenges I think Rotary faces, and this was part of the workshop I went to, is how do you tell your story? What is our story as a club, and why is our club the best club in Tacoma, or the most unique club? This, I think, is a great example of poor communication. I was at the Phoenix airport, and this was a backlit, one of those big transparencies, probably 8 feet by 8 feet. Cost a lot of money, I imagine. Thousands of people would see it every day. So pretend you know nothing about the Phoenix Rotary Club. What does this tell you?
100 years old.
Isn't that exciting? So people who know nothing about Rotary clubs, see, I knew there were a bunch of old people. Probably all the members in the Phoenix Club are 100 years old. It doesn't tell a story. If we had a picture of Linda Dawson, who was the gal who spoke, Tacoma Sunrise Rotary helped change my life. That, to me, would tell a story. So no offense to Phoenix, but I guess I insulted them, so I'll move on. So, club websites. I spent a little bit of time going on a few of them, and I hadn't done that before. It's kind of interesting. I think our site is pretty good overall. I think there's some lessons we could probably learn, and these were just randomly, I did a Google, and these were the first ones that came up, and then there's one I thought was one of the better ones. New York, New York. One thing that's on my list to do is probably give more visibility to our upcoming speaker, but I want to talk a bit about that. So there's a lot of content that we have on ours. Seaside went more touristy. I thought that was an interesting graphic. But again, a bit on upcoming meetings. Quite often a message from the president was a common feature. This was Rochester, again, talking a little bit about upcoming events. This I thought was too lengthy an introduction from the president. And this I thought was one of the less renowned websites with the phantom rotary wheel, making it hard to read virtually everything on the site. Bellevue, more locally, again, has their schedule in what the press says. This one I was impressed with. This was is Oakland's site. One of the things I thought they do well is this is what we're all about. We're about service, we're about fellowship, and we're about networking. Now maybe that's what we're about too, maybe it isn't. But if there were 3 things to describe our club, I think this is good in that, okay, I don't know what Rotary does, give me a clue. This gives, I think, a pretty good clue. Interesting enough, it says click here for upcoming club speakers. The link didn't work. So, but in terms of attracting, are you interested In joining, contact us. If you click there, gives you a little form. Now again, whether people fill this out, but for new member leads, that might be something we want to dial up as well. And then they have profiles of members. There's a photo that if I scroll down farther you'd see, but hi, my name's Rod. This is why I belong to Rotary. And I thought that helped tell a story through the eyes of your members. This is our club's homepage. And we did have an auction procurement form on the site, in case you don't remember that. It looks something like this. How many people used this, by the way? They grabbed it off the website? Couple? Okay. So some of these, if you have an answer or want to talk, feel free. I want to move along pretty quickly, though. Is there other auction information? Let's say we do an auction next year. Is there other stuff that should be on our website? That could be. Yeah, I don't think that the event had as much visibility on our site as we probably could have. That's
raise the paddle. Raise the paddle.
In terms of explaining. Okay, could you guys make sure you write this stuff down too? These are great ideas, so I appreciate that. So again, anything else auction-wise? Okay. And maybe you want to, I don't know if we have auction stuff on our other social media yet.
I think probably if we write down on these cards, if at all possible, we might be able to put them in multiple places, wherever it's easier to do, but in certain circumstances, we might only be able to put information on the website or on the blog or one of our other outlets. So if you write it down on the card, we'll figure out where to put it.
Yeah, we thrive on feedback. So these I want to walk through fairly quickly, and again, if you want to shout something out, feel free to. If you just want to jot something down, if you write down the number you're responding to, that would be helpful as we go through this. In the last 30 days, have you been on our club's website? Show of hands.
Is that okay. The blog or just the website?
No, Jen, I'm a narrow focus on website for my piece of the puzzle. Okay, so the follow-up question there, what did you find? I mean, what were you looking for?
Phone numbers.
Phone numbers, yeah.
Okay, so you were in club run, you were in the member only.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. How many people accessed the member only in the last 30 days? Okay. How many people went to the website, not the members only? What were you looking for?
I had an email request from somebody who would like to visit.
Okay.
And so I was looking for upcoming speakers.
Did you find it?
I did. It needs to be more complete. It wasn't, I suggested to her to go and look at that and see if there was something interesting. It didn't have enough information.
Okay, so if that were higher on the home page, that would not solve that, but help. Yeah, okay. In the last 3 months, have you shared our website with a non-member? Or maybe that's an example.
Yeah.
Okay, anybody else? No? Okay. Number 3, what is the most useful information you find on our club website? So let me ask it as non-club runner for a minute. The public part, I'm sensing people don't go there much. Or you go to the website to get to club runner. Okay, so now you're living in club runner, you're after phone numbers.
Email.
The email to send out. Roseanne?
I go on the club website to see the speakers, past speakers.
Okay.
Run some information on what they said.
That's the blog.
That's the blog.
Oh, it's blog, not the website.
Well, actually, the website I was on this morning, if you want to know who spoke here in 2007, you can find it on our website. But the section I was in went from 2007 to 2011. So I don't, who's the program chairs? Or where are you posting? Forgive my ignorance, but. You shifted.
In 2011, we went to the blog and used Google Calendars.
For that,
so
okay.
We have been looking for before 2011, and now we know. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a treasure trove of history. What information would you like to have more easily accessible. So Karen, you mentioned upcoming speakers, maybe having that in multiple places on the public website. Again, feel free to jot something down on that. When your best friend asks you, why do you belong to Rotary? What do you say?
Because anything less would be uncivilized.
And then you tell them, and then you tell them a pirate joke and say, whatever you do, don't join the Lions Club. Anybody else want to? Feel free to jot that down, because if we don't know what that answer is, we don't know what our story is part of my point. Sorry, that red's pretty red. What's our club's greatest hit?
Fine
All the
time.
things we do.
Fine time.
Santa breakfast.
Santa breakfast because it's fun.
It also touches a lot of lives.
And it does something good and visible for the community.
Okay. Could you jot that down? I've got two more and then I'm running low on time. So feel free to write down your answers to this. Similar one, of all the things you've personally done in the club, what are you most proud of? Something you were involved in, Santa breakfast, whatever. Number 8, what other suggestions do you have for making our website more valuable? Again, if you could jot something down, I'd greatly appreciate it. Also, we have a dashboard. I think totally inaccurate information, but interesting. This is in the background. This says we have 51% of our members are under the age of 35. But the more interesting one, years of service, 22% over 20 years. This one frightened me, actually. 33% of our members are female, 51 are male, and 16% are unknown. So if you want to jot down any thoughts on that, I prefer you don't. No, there might be missing data on members.
Yes, my thing about that is that up until a certain date, we couldn't put the year of a person's birth, and that's why we're all under 50 or
Okay.
under 20. So people need to go in and update their profile.
But it makes us look like a young club. I like it. Okay, so I'm going to turn it over to Chris, and please write that down, and I need all my pens back, too.
Okay, so that was, we learned quite a bit on the website. I had a couple of the things that I wanted to bring up. One of the things we're trying to do is, this year, was to make sure that wherever you went online, you'd know if you were a prospective member or you just moved into town, that you knew where we met and what time we met, and that we, as club members, welcome you with open arms. So one thing that we've tried here over the last couple months is on the website, at the top of the website, there's a link to the rest of our web presence. So the blog, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, our photo album, Google+, and our calendar. I'm not sure if, so this is kind of a one-stop place. If you went to our website, for instance, if you're like me, when I'm looking up something that I don't know anything about, I just go to Google and I'd probably type in Tacoma Rotary if I was looking for Rotary, if I was from out of town. Typically, this website shows up in the top 2 or 3. Sometimes our blog shows up at the top, sometimes our website shows up at the top, and sometimes Rotary 8 shows up. We've tried to put some keywords in to get us higher up on the list. But from here, you could go to any of these. Now, some of these are built out more than others. Some are brand new over the last maybe month or two. But if you were to click on the Sunrise Rotary blog, you would go to this. And I know many members have called this the website. Technically, the other one's the website. This is our blog. But what we have here is, once again, a notice at the top saying where we meet and at what time. And if you've been to this, if you were to Google Tacoma Sunrise Rotary blog, this would show up at the top of the list. But of course, we have a photo album that if you click on it, it opens up our separate photo album. But also our calendar, right? Upcoming events. And only going back to 2011, if you were to hit this, you could actually go back and see our past speakers as well. What we try to do is, if there's anything that goes out on email blast, we try to get that in on the blog as well. So, for instance, Tacoma Narrows was hosting a Texas Hold'em event that showed up on our blog, as well as, 9 out of 10 of our presentations will show up here as well. So if you missed a meeting, or if you thought you had a meeting that you really enjoyed and you wanted to show a prospective member, you could show that video and also just play directly from here. Just hit play and it will play. And of course you can make that full screen just by clicking right here. So a couple other things that if you're looking for an email, or if you needed to contact one of the members of the board, you can actually just click on, if you were to click on this, it will open up an email that will send directly to Karen. Or if you needed to reach Dan Powell for an international service, you click there and it'll send an email directly to him. So you wouldn't have to go to Club Runner to look up his email and then, it's saving you a step or two. Now, remember on the website, there was a link to go to a photo album or Google Plus or Twitter or YouTube. That photo album is also right here. So if you were to click on this, it will open up every photo that we have. So for instance, I need the photos from Saturday. If we can get those, then I can upload those into our photo gallery. And what's kind of nice is when they go into our photo gallery, it automatically adds to this scrolling photo album. So, if you're a prospective member and you're checking out different Rotary groups, it's nice to have something. What we don't necessarily want is Christmas photos in May. So if we can get more photos before, then every time we get them, even if it's 1 or 2, I can upload them in and keep that up to date. So,
excuse me, Chris, is
yeah.
there a way to date the photos? Because sometimes I know this old family photos, you say, I wonder what year that was.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, they are dated. So why don't I go to that? By the way, there are also other links to, our Facebook and our different groups that are in Tacoma, including Rotary International's websites. Those are all right here. If you click on those, they'll open up. But as far as, if you were to click on the photo gallery, I already have it open. But what it does is brings you to this. And so these are all the photos that we have. And the dates are there. So I don't know if you can see that, but there's 113 photos. It was 12/7/13 is when we had our Santa breakfast. And Google has an ample amount of space for us to store these online. So I don't think we'll ever have to delete any photos. As a matter of fact, if you have photos from, the 80s or the 90s, somewhere in some shoebox, bring them to me. We can scan them in and bring those in as well. It'll show that our club's been around for a while. But here's, we only have 2 photos from this, but this is for those of us that went bowling here back in April of last year. So if you were to click on one of these, right, they'll open up the photo album, and there you are, right? So that's our photo album, and like I say, in order to get to that, you could either go to the blog and click on this, or you could go to the website and click on this, or if you just Googled Tacoma Sunrise Rotary photo album, it'll show up at the top of the list as well. Okay. I'm just going to keep going, but if you have questions, yes. Gail.
I have a suggestion. In order to get more and better photos, I think at each event, somebody should be asked to bring home photos. Because if somebody feels the responsibility, it'll happen. Right now, it's just ad hoc. You
Yeah.
know, maybe Saturday there is nobody taking pictures, you know, and maybe another time there are 10 people. But I think somebody should have the request. You know what I mean?
I think you're right. That's why we don't have more photos, because I think we're all assuming that somebody else is going to take them.
They
So,
don't have that hat on.
Yeah.
They don't have it handy, or
Yeah.
they don't think about it.
and we all, well, maybe not all of us, but many of us have smartphones. We can take photos there too. Yeah, so we'll have to work harder on that. If you could write that down on the card, that's a great suggestion.
We had Alan doing that.
Alan was doing a fantastic job on Saturday. Yeah, now we just need to get the photos. So we'll see how they
sent
turn
them
out.
to Cameron and to Joanne, so.
Oh, okay. So, of course, we have a Facebook, and if you haven't already, if you were to go to if you have a Facebook page already, if you do a search for Tacoma Sunrise Rotary, will show up on the top of the list. You click on that and you say you like it, right? So, somewhere on here, you just say like, and now you'll be following our Facebook page. And what we have is, there's updates from time to time on the Facebook. Here's one that a lot of people don't know about. We actually have a YouTube page. We have since the very beginning of us filming all of our speakers. We're actually working on right now. The board has voted to have a Sunrise Rotary video, professionally done. And once we get that done, we'll add that to our page also. But if you were to go to YouTube and type in Tacoma Sunrise Rotary, we'd show up at the top of the list. And you can actually you can follow this too if you have YouTube. But what this will do is, just like the blog, as new photos or new videos come around, they'll show up right here for recent uploads. Or if let's say you were talking to a prospective member once again, and you said, well, here's kind of what our club does, and you wanted to show them videos. One of the more popular ones was a year ago. Actually, December 2012, Holiday Music by Annie Wright Senior Choir. That's our most popular video. There was 93 views on that video. So if you clicked on that, you'd be able to watch that video. All of our videos that we've ever taken are here. So if you just scroll to the right, it just keeps going with in chronological order by popularity. We have a Google Plus, which doesn't have a whole lot yet. It was just built out here recently, but let's see. This is what we look like. Google Plus is an alternate to Facebook. So if there were folks that had Google Plus, they could friend us the same way they would on Facebook. We have a Twitter page. I haven't posted anything yet on Twitter. I don't really understand Twitter a whole lot, but I know that a lot of people follow Twitter. So once I figure it out, then we'll start posting things on there. And the most recent is, this is a solution for, we talk about documents or letters or things that you could reach out, like procurement forms or procurement letters or any other kind of document. We have a section on the website that eventually, if we were posting all of our documents there, it could get really long. So we might have in the document section on the homepage of the website, right here, if you can imagine if we had 30 or 40 documents, that could get to be a really long list. What we have is something called Google Drive, and Dirk was even talking about this morning, maybe having different documents, including something like a phone list or something on Google Drive. So that's something that we're just building out as well. But that's kind of it. I'm not sure. Is there any other questions or yes?
I know that Janet OAR was concerned about Gazer's presentation.
Yeah.
Because I think it eventually got him in trouble with his government.
Yeah.
Were you able to take that off?
Yeah, he sent me an email that basically the day after, and he asked for me to take it down, and we did. What he ended up doing was taking that video and editing certain sections out, and he reposted it on his YouTube page.
Okay.
So
it's easy to take something off, yeah.
Oh yes, yeah. I mean, literally, it takes a couple seconds to take something down.
Thank you.
Yeah. I thought I said yes.
Excuse me, the Google Documents, is that password protected? Would that be open to the public or?
Yeah. So yeah, you can. It depends on each document. You can share publicly, or you can share password protected. So there'd be certain documents that, of course, we would want to keep within the club, and others that we open up to the public. There's one other thing, as far as the calendar is concerned. For those that have an iPad, an iPhone, or an Android device, you have a calendar built into your device already. Okay, whether you use it or not, that's one thing or another. But if you're already using your calendar and you like that feature, instead of having to go to the blog or to go to any of the other links, there's instructions on the table, and you can take these home, to have the calendar automatically sync into your Android, iPhone, or iPad. And so then you'll just be able to look at your device, and it'll tell you who the upcoming speakers are or who the past speakers were. It's pretty simple. It might look like the instructions are kind of long, but if you follow it step by step, it'll take you 5 minutes. Yes?
Real quick, when it's a team's turn to take on duties each and every the month that comes up, getting everybody signed up currently is sometimes cumbersome.
Yeah.
Is there a way to do something like a SharePoint where you could actually do Google Docs and have a password protect so you can
Yes.
sign up instead of trying to send Excel sheets around?
And that's the exact idea. So what you can do in Google Docs, that's why we're looking into Google Docs, because sending the email and having it respond back, and then someone else responds, and you've got, you can actually build, you can do two things in Google Docs. One would be build a spreadsheet on your Microsoft Excel and then upload it just by clicking this. Or you can just create the spreadsheet right in Google Docs. And if you went here, you have a spreadsheet right here. So you can build it inside. And then there's a share button. You'd hit share with whomever was in your team, right? And so then what would happen is, it's kind of cool when you see this, but if you have a Google Docs Excel spreadsheet, if someone is, let's say you and I are both logged in at the same time, we're both looking at the spreadsheet, you can see the other person moving around and editing the document real time while you're in it. So there's no overlap where two people are trying to get the set up. So. Yes.
Some of our presenters, I think, like to present to various kinds of groups. Do we always make it a point to know that they can view the presentation, and then could they share it with other prospective groups that they might present to?
Yeah, so that's kind of a nice feature. You can actually do it from a couple different locations, but the reason why we upload our videos to YouTube. And then what we're actually doing is we're uploading it to YouTube and then we're sharing it to the blog. So if you went to a video on YouTube, I'm not sure if you've ever done this before, but you can share that video. Of course, here we go. So if you hit share, you could share this to other people through one of these things: Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Blogger, Reddit, Twitter, Pinterest, I don't even know what that is, or that one, or LinkedIn. Or if you just wanted to, that's the website, you could just copy and paste that and email it to someone else, and they'd be able to access the video as well. So yeah, it's very shareable, and that's what we're trying to aim at, is Some people like YouTube, some people like Facebook, some people like Twitter, and we just want to make sure that we cover all of our bases. Yes?
Do we have the speaker's permission to give their speech out?
As far as I know, yeah.
Sure.
It could probably be a little more obvious.
I
Yeah.
don't think that's happened in Lincoln.
I ask because the Fuchsia Society that I belong to got a nasty gram from somebody who had a crawler going around the web and found that we had 3 pictures that they claimed they had copyrighted, and we were doing copyright infringement. And, you know, these are pictures that have been floating around for years, and we don't even know where we got them. But it makes me very sensitive to stuff that's on the internet that, you know, a speaker, this may be a canned speech that they want to give to 5 Rotary clubs in the area, and all of a sudden it's out there on YouTube, and it loses its
Sure.
its control, whatever the right term I want, you know, copyright kind of thing.
I think
It's
that's
my
probably.
speech, and I don't want you putting it out there on.
We'll tighten it up.
I think it needs to be.
Yeah, we've actually been doing the videos, and these are famous last words, but we've been doing the videos since May of 2011, every week, and we haven't had any backlash yet. But as soon as I say that, watch.
You know, what we should do is,
Yes, Fred.
get some kind of a release form or something that would notify them that this is our intent.
I think that's probably done right when we schedule the program, probably at Dirk's level. Not to pass the buck over to Dirk, but
I'm trying to address it right now.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to do it, right?
Yeah. We'll do it. Okay. I guess that's it.
We could spend longer time with this, yes.
Yeah. And as always, feel free to come see, Rod or me or Dirk. Fred's kind of the overseer of all of us. But any of us, and we could, if there's something you'd like to see, we can always add it.
I think the good news is, go to either site and get information from the other site pretty easily, so you don't have to think, which site should I go to? Really? You can get there. So, next week, Julie Anderson, First County Auditor's